It's only 2 weeks ago.
Oh, we're on?
You said
Okay.
took a picture.
Hello, guys. My name is Siobhan Hopkinson. Here to talk about Mary Parker Foley. Mary Parker Foley wrote in the 20th century and her philosophy on giving orders and how it affected the business atmosphere. Mary stated that there are principles in giving orders, however, most people don't choose one. She described three types of attitudes. She stated as conscious attitude, which means realizing the principles which it is possible to act on in this matter. Responsible attitude, to decide which we will act on. And experimental attitude, which is trying experiments and watching the results. Under the first section that she started to talk with was behavior pattern. She stated saying that you can't get people to do things by ordering them. Even reasoning sometimes can't be enough. Mary also mentions that a key ingredient to a leader or a manager relaying a message to subordinates is how the message is relayed. If the message is relayed in a positive way, then the receiver is much more likely to follow the message or follow the order that the manager had given out. If the message is relayed in a negative way, the 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 worker is much more likely to be oppressive and not want to follow. Even if he does follow the leader's wishes, he might not do it, open-heartedly. He might not want to do it because he wants to do it. He's just following rules and might be afraid of the consequences. Machiavelli. Mary gave an example of an employee or a manager verbally abusing his employees in the industrial workforce. So that's pertaining to metals and aircrafts and woodwork. And she stated that if the workers did not like the managers or the orders and how they relate to them, then there would be a work stoppage. In today's society, there would be no need for employees to pursue a work stoppage because due to the laws of harassment, that manager would be ousted before it even had to go that far. Um, she also gave an example of how we as society take orders, and it comes back to when we were children and when your parents give you an order. As a child, a lot of us did not want to do it at first, and we either did it because we were forced to do it or because we understood the situation, which leads me to my next point, depersonalizing orders. Mary stated Let me just get up here. Mary stated that employees have learned how to stop taking orders and realize in order for a situation to be completed, it is mandatory to complete a task. So basically, she's saying that employees need to stop taking tasks so personal. Realize that when a manager tells you something, it's not because they don't like you or they want you to do it, but because it is necessary for the job to be completed in order to continue. Foley also makes a mention of Frederick Taylor's scientific management theory, and stated that both parties need to learn how to take orders from the situation. So not only does the employee need to learn how to take orders from the situation, but also employers need to take orders from the situation and realize how to go about giving these orders to their subordinates. She stated that the gravest problem is how to take responsibility and take orders at the same time. So a lot of us, when we take orders, some of us have problems being responsible. Some of us, are responsible but don't like others telling us what to do. So it's a kind of an imbalance that she was talking about that a lot of us in society have. She then goes on to talk about obedience and liberty. Foley mentions that the order must coexist with the situation. So if the situation is not stationary, neither should the order. So, for example, a lot of us might have experienced doing a job where our manager asks us to do a task that has nothing to do with the job. That's one of the quickest ways to get oppressive employees. She states that all of the tasks should be applicable to the job, so that way everything stays in order and workers realize that what they're doing is needed for their job. Um, to make orders work, employees have to learn how to deal and understand with the situation, while managers have to learn how to not to abuse their power as well. Um, I will admit that I agree with several of Foley's views, but I also disagree with some of Foley's theories, because not all of her examples are applicable to today's society. For example, she stated about depersonalizing orders. Given to an employee, for example, if an employee feels like, he or she should not take those orders personal, that could result in less of an effort from the employee, which can also result to less productivity. However, if you specify to a task, to an employee, and state the importance of the task to be done, that employee will feel more important to the job and to the organization, and feel like a valuable asset to the company. This will also lead to better productivity. So, hopefully you guys understand why I disagree. But I also partially agree, well, mainly agree with Mary Foley's stance on giving orders.